I'm too busy. The second thing that we might say or think as a reason for not doing what needs to be done to achieve the results that we desire is that we're too busy. And again, I get that. I get that from 20 odd years of practically everyone telling me that they're busy. I get that from being super busy myself. I have a busy business. I have a super busy wife who works a lot of hours. I have 4 kids who go to schools 20 odd miles apart, who have activities all over the place. My life is super busy. But I also get that doesn't need to be a reason not to achieve our goals. It might slow down the progress on some of them, sure, but it doesn't need to be a reason not to achieve them, particularly if our goal is related to our nutrition. Because there is no version of reality where being busy makes any difference whatsoever to our ability to lose weight. We might tell ourselves it does, but it doesn't have to. Because, simplest scenario, we could just eat less of the food that we're going to eat anyway. There is no way in the world that eating a smaller portion size of the same stuff takes more time. If anything, it takes a little bit less time. Let's call it the same overall. So we could just eat the appropriate portion size of whatever we're going to eat for someone of our size and activity levels. We could just decide not to overeat on it. We could probably make some different choices that didn't take any more time. There's probably some other food choices that are equally convenient, equally available, just as able to happen, that don't have any correlation to how busy we are, that we could make that contribute lower calories overall. If our goal requires exercise, then yes, I appreciate that takes an amount of time. But genuinely, out of the 10,080 minutes in the week, have we ever been so busy that we couldn't have spent 60 seconds doing some press-ups in front of the TV? I'm fairly confident the answer is no. What actually happens is we come up with this largely not even defined, fairly vague, made-up version of what is worth doing. We decide that we need to be doing 3 workouts down here at Rise per week, which is a great target to have, but then when we don't feel we can do that, we don't do any whatsoever, whereas we still would have benefited from that 60 seconds of exercise. As I've said many times, can you genuinely tell me that if you took 2 identical twins, one of them did no exercise for 30 years whatsoever, the other one ate exactly the same, did everything else exactly the same, but blasted out 5 minutes of burpees 3 times a week as hard and fast as they could? Are you telling me there's 0 difference between their health and fitness after 30 years? Of course there isn't. That first bit of exercise is the most beneficial. The difference between no exercise and some exercise is always bigger than the difference between some exercise and a bit more exercise. And more than anything, it then changes the probability of doing more next week. If we do 1 workout at Rise and a couple of home workouts this week, we're way more likely to do 3 workouts at Rise next week than if we do no workouts whatsoever this week. So in short, being too busy isn't a reason not to eat better. We could just go smaller portion size. We could make some different choices that don't require any more time or effort. And from an exercise perspective, we could just do what we can under the circumstances for the benefit it still brings and for the increase in probability that we'll do more next week.